in lanes to begin with. The mid lane matchup is a little bit rough for a Cam here. I think Ahri versus Syndra. Syndra could pose a problem, but you do have the extra advantage, I suppose, of having that Fresh who can open up from bot and maybe show his face mid, and then you can go from there. All right. Void versus Ragebaiters. Are we going to see any action level 1? There's the Fresh Hook. There's the Ahri Charm, potentially as well, but I don't know if Ahri wants to start with Charm level 1. Probably not ideal. Yeah, if I had to guess, we're just not going to see much action level 1. We're just going to have both teams stare at each other from a distance. That is exactly what's happening. The chat is pretty big. Right in the middle of the screen. I'd rather that just not block the vision of everything.
Minions have spawned.
Alright, looks like there will be just people walking into lanes completely unopposed. Oh, we might see some early trading before the minions actually meet in the waves. No. Kama was looking for a Q, maybe. A little poking with an orb, but didn't feel like it would be enough there, given the distance. Mostly interested in bot lane for now, because, you know, bot lane push... If Void get it first, that could potentially decide everything here. If Thresh had level 2, that could be very scary for Ragebaiters, but it looks like they will just get the push here. And they won't really have to work very hard for it either. So this is just Ragebaiters getting a level 2. With Jinx and Milio, so avoiding a lot of the dangers early into this game. A good trade from Kama here. Nicely done. Thank you, UNL, man. I like how my I like the official title. UNL, man. I'll take it. That's pretty much what I'm known for. I'm not really known for anything else. I'm not even a micro celebrity. I'm like a celebrity the size of a single cellular organism. That's probably my celebrity size. Once again, Ragebaiter's pushing in the wave, but now the jungler is around. But he is indeed spotted by vision, so there will be no action. Vecla deciding not to use his flash. Now the junglers will meet, but Jasmine has level advantage. And she also has prio from her mid laner as well, so this is a little bit sketchy. Cam flashing in with a flash charm, but doesn't really get his target. And now this is a bad situation for Void, as they're all trying to run away. The first kill goes to Vecla on the Thresh, but now it's full retreat mode for everyone involved. Vecla still has his flash, will use it in the end just to try and get away from the combined forces of Ragebaiters, but yeah, the first fight at Scuttle just turned out pretty, like a pretty bad fight for Void. They had to burn 3 flashes. Not the best space to be in. Now Terry with some good trading once again, but also a good sidestep from Nonsi to avoid that. He definitely would have had to burn flash in that spot. Yeah, we'll see if Ragebaiters can punish some of those burnt summoners less than a minute ago. It is also a kill for Syndra, so that makes things potentially easier, as now Ragebaiters will also find a kill onto Terry, so this is another solo laner getting some gold. And a pretty good start for Ragebaiters all across the board, really. The early Negatron Cloak from Cassante will help him stifle the bleeding in the matchup, but now Void find the enemy jungler, and Provecho, with no flash, has nowhere to run, really. No minion to charge to, he just gets killed on the spot. Really nicely done from Void. Grundle just walking into the enemy jungle, confident in when the Xin Zhao would be clearing, and he brings Ari with him, and they just get the spoils. Nice proactive play from Void in that sequence. Good hook from Back Club, but the shields from Melio will dissuade them from training harder. Yeah, even though Thresh has the hooks, I think the combined forces of Sivir and Thresh will not be enough to score easy kills in a 2v2. I think it will take more than that. I think it will take just the jungler appearing and getting some damage in, some extra CC. Sivir is not exactly a powerhouse when it comes to the early damage. Let's see what happens with this dragon right here, because both bot lanes decided to base as now they reappear on the map. And both junglers also finish their clear near bot side, but they will also choose to base. So this dragon is just going to be delayed. We don't know really for how long. Maybe one side will actually decide to attack the grubs instead. That could be what Jasmine is doing, as now Cam has just gotten a big trade at mid. Procs Electrocute brings Syndra down to half. Syndra with no teleport either. So potentially, there is some danger involved. Jasmine for now just clearing. And the Grubs timer is approaching, so that could be something that Void are looking for, as now Cam going in for that solo kill, and he just gets it very easily. He had the level lead, he just pressed R, he just went for it, and just really well executed. Zeki using that flash, but it wasn't enough to get away. Now Cam using that extra time to get some potential information on the jungler. Doesn't find him a bot, but now there's a big 1v1 in top lane. Provecho could be there to assist. And he does assist the Cassante, so that is an extra kill for him. But Void are already focusing on their own counterplay, as Trundle is hitting the dragon. Void's bot lane has secured priority. This should be a very easy objective take for them. As Provecho just focuses down the grubs, rightfully so. I think it's important that you just make the cross map happen, given your top laner's position. You've made sure that they are ahead, and now you just take advantage of their position. It's going to be grubs for dragon. Taking the full 3 grubs always feels really nice. I'm not sure if this is... like, if these void grubs will be used extensively by Ragebaiters. I think at some point Mordekaiser will just start out-muscling the Cassante in the side lane, but maybe if Cassante manages to get to his spikes fast, maybe this matchup can stay in his favor for a longer amount of time, as now the charm once again lands onto Syndra. And that damage is really punishing. Not much else happening, but now we finally see the jungler trying to impact the bot lane as Jasmine walks up, but it's just Trundle waddling over. No real CC to be used, as once again we see a solo kill down mid. Zeki once again falls to the Ahri and the isolated 1v1. This is not going well for Ragebaiters, as now the hook from Backclub, but they get baited. There was a Provecho lane gank. Jasmine is close by though, so it's going to just be this fresh flash. Just to get away. And I don't think we're going to see much else. Void will just push this wave straight into the tower and then make their way back to the fountain. But yeah, with this Ahri being as far ahead as she is, this does open so many opportunities for Void to just make plays wherever they really want to make them. I guess Cassante is a much harder target to kill. Cam was trying something, but without Spirit Rush and with Cassante itemizing for both solo laners at the same time, I think this is a bit of a fool's errand, honestly. He's not going to die very easily. If I'm Void, I'm definitely looking at bot lane more so than top, especially when they don't have any flashes either. I'm sure this is something that Void have pointed out. Maybe something they even timed, so you just gotta try and punish the lack of flashes while the flashes are still down. Oh, Fresh looking for another hook, but that shield from Milio does also give movement speed. So pretty hard to pin down. Pretty hard to pin down that Jinx when she has boots and the extra movement speed. I think in a situation like this, you're probably fine just hooking either target. Especially if all you're going to do is just a short trade. We see another 1v1 in the top lane, but Notu, I think, is more than capable of winning this one. Mordekaiser ult is potentially enough to turn this one around. The Q is not isolated, though, and Terry has to flash away. That was really close, all things considered. The Cassante was almost able to get a solo kill there with the extra items that he had. Now both top laners are going to come out into the lane with their first items completed. That Rylai's Crystal Scepter, though, that does mean Mordekaiser just has such an easier time forcing extended trades that are very much on his terms. I think if ults are not... Oh, what a charm from Cam once again. Bekla is close as well, trying to finalize the kill, but Zeki does have flashback up this time, and he avoids dying in that spot. But once again, mid lane under so much pressure. Zeki's not having a fun time down there. And this does open another dragon. Mid lane with Prio, bot lane with Prio. This is just Void stacking dragons with relative ease here. Good sidestep from Terry. Notu without his ultimate yet. So that was a very good trade. That early caning Rook and paying dividends for sure. You have to remember Rylai's Crystal Scepter is a relatively cheap item. You could say No 2 is actually ahead of the curve, and that does make his job easier for now. Now the Sivir ulting in, potentially looking for a pick onto the Jinx. Cozy Campfire from Vermilio just to keep him alive for a bit longer. Spore auto-attacking back, but the Bekla hook will find its mark. Now Zeki, though, coming in first to the river, but it's once again Cam with Spirit Rush. Such easy follow-up for Cam to just keep stacking up the kills. Bekla finishes that one off as well, just to make things easier for his mid laner. So he can focus on Milio instead. If he lands this what? Okay, I don't think he had it back up yet. He was definitely looking for that last Q. He just wasn't able to fire it off yet, but all things considered, Void definitely like that sequence in the bottom river, even though Bekla got 2 kills. Once again, 1v1 on top lane. These people are just brawling all the time. Cassante Wing out, trying to retreat, but I don't think he has anywhere to go here. Void finally find the punish down top as well, so this is just a situation where all of their lanes are now starting to pull ahead. And this is not a spot where Ragebaiters want to be. Especially when you consider, you know, their means of engage are pretty limited. You have Xin maybe going in, finding a singular pick with his W&E combo. You have Syndra scatter the weak, but that does require very good conditions for that stun to hit multiple people. So Ragebaiters, I think they will struggle playing from behind once again. What a charm from Cam. Void just keep racking up the picks, one after another. The Crescent Guard from Xin will protect him for now, but you can tell just how much pressure Cam is exerting on this Ahri pick. There's a stark difference compared to what we've seen from him in the weeks prior. He's actually performing better than before. I think it's fair to say we are noticing that difference. The next dragon coming up in less than 2 minutes. I'm sure that Void will just look to get that picked up as soon as possible, and I don't think they will be met with much resistance. Given where the game is right now, Ragebaiters are definitely ill-prepared for this next team fight if they choose to take it. It would require some crazy sequence of picks, but that would also require Void to really overextend on a play. And I don't think they need to be doing any of that. Bekla looking for an angle down top. He is standing there for a long time. Ooh. Scott takes the route through the enemy jungle, and he quickly finds out why that was a bad idea. He has to flash right out of there. Pretty bad flash to lose, but now I don't think that will stop Void from taking this tower. I don't think the dive angle is something they should consider. They will just look to focus the tower instead. No2 trying to kill at least one target. Jasmine overextending a bit. Now Mordekaiser in the line of fire. I think at least one person from Void here will die. I think it's safe to say Mordekaiser will trade 1-for-1, but this kill in reply will go to the Syndra. And does that give Ragebaiters enough of a window to head towards this dragon? We are all recalling, they are going straight to the objective, but it's still Void that have the tempo. They already have Trundle and Ahri on the case, already hitting this dragon before Ragebaiters can even get there. The Ragebaiters will try to make their way down, but once again, it's Ahri with the charms. Cassante, though, tanky enough to withstand that damage. But even then, Ragebaiters were just not ready to fight. But now, they actually decide to maybe try and find at least one pick. But yeah, like we said, limited amount of CC. Trundle only really has to worry about that Syndra stun. And if that isn't followed up by any kind of damage, then he's basically fine. It's a really difficult game to play out for Ragebaiters in this position. I think it will be down to the front line of Ragebaiters to try and orchestrate a fight that works for them. But they can't just take any fight, they have to be really cautious. One Cam Charm could turn the tides of the fight so quickly. Tekla finds a hook, but there was no one around really. The TP from Terry to bring him across the river wall, I guess. Pretty sure that's what happened. Meanwhile, Cam once again finds Syndra in the side lane. There's no one really to save her there. Just completely isolated once again. Ragebaiters just keep finding themselves in situations where the Syndra is just looking at a gray screen and it's not helping at all. Void are just running the map. As it stands, there's nothing really that can stop them. As Jasmine's going for some counter jungling, they will find the Xin Zhao. Did he get the red buff, or did he not get the red buff? I was not really looking, as Provecho is going back in, but now he doesn't have his ultimate. Cassante will try and defuse the situation, but even he can die eventually. Really nice knock-up, though. But even then, Void, I think they can just easily play this front to back without much of a worry. Mordekaiser is deep in there, killing one guy after another. Scott gets another kill. Void are just out-muscling Ragebaiters, hitting them with their wallets, as the popular saying goes, and they will go straight to Atacon, take that one as well. There is just nothing that can stop us, or stop them. Sorry. I don't know why I identified with Void at in that particular moment. I don't know what's going on there, but yep. Atacon goes to Void. And this should be followed up by the Baron in just around 2 minutes. Everything going silky smooth from Void. As now Cam once again looking for a pick onto Zeki. This is really tough for the Ragebaiters mid laner. He finally gets some cover from the Xin, but I think, well, actually, this should be a kill back. And I like this from Ragebaiters, but I'm afraid this happened a little bit too late into this game. I think given the situation, it was far too easy for Ahri to just find picks over and over in this isolated 1v1. Yeah, Backload just walking in, gets his health bar chunked a little bit by the QE combo, but he doesn't really care. Void are just completely unfazed by any spells that are coming their way. They are just standing in river. And Ragebaiters decide, yep, I don't think this is something we can contest. Although now they are shyly walking in, but that's all it's really gonna be. There was never really an angle for Ragebaiters to find a fight there, as now Kama once again killing the Syndra. I've been repeating myself a lot this game. It's Cam just going straight in Zeki's face, hitting his combos, hitting his charms. It's an absolute menace, this game. Definitely causing the most headaches. And Void with their mid laner, with Ragebaiters mid laner gone once again, they will just take that Baron. And frankly, I don't see a reason why this game will continue past 30 minutes. I think Void with this Baron alone should be able to find the picks they need to close this one out. So now Terry potentially in danger. He does use his ultimate to buy some time, but now he's going to find himself on a 1v3. He does have a shield he can pop. He is going to use it in time. He flashes away. He successfully brings 3 people to his lane and walks off still alive after all that. As Cam once again looking for more kills. Oh, Notu in a bad spot, trying to get himself away from there. With his ultimate, he will manage to do so. Another great hook from Bekla. Void will just go in and kill one target after another. The Jinx dying first is really bad news for Ragebaiters, as now they are just in full retreat mode, but they can't run away from the Trundle or the Ahri. This is game over, as Void will finish this 5th UNL game of theirs in just under 28 minutes. It was never really in doubt. From the moment that Cam secured that lead mid, he just kept going.